Hey everybody, welcome back to GRC. I'm super excited to put another video out. Had a great weekend, great Sunday racing at the Hills. This is Tuesday night, so it's a couple of nights later. Got a ton of footage that I'm going to be putting out the next couple of weeks. Talk about my experience on the new layout. It was a brand new layout for Hills, and I've got some really good insights into how I found it, how my setup worked for the change, and how different the track is. Today we're not going to look at any of my videos. I'm actually going to show a special two-wheel drive mod final today, which is going to be super cool. So this is one of the best races of the day. It involves, two of the best young drivers in Australia, and they go hammer and tongs. It's a really good video. So we'll do that in a minute. Before we get there, before I go any further, image behind me. This is my B74 from the weekend, taken by Infield Media. Chad Donnelly is the father of Lachlan Donnelly, who's one of the best young drivers in Australia. And Chad has been he's a keen photographer, has been taking photos at the track, well, as long as I've been back into the sport, like a year ago. I think he's improved dramatically over the time. His videos are just world class now, as you can see by this one. And Chad just turns up, takes a bunch of photos across the race meet and posts them all on Facebook. He's now launched his own Facebook page. He's called Infield Media now, so give him a look on Facebook, give him a like, follow him. He's got some amazing photos up there already. He's been putting them all up there the last couple of days. So big shout out for Chad. Thanks for letting me use the photo, and I'll be featuring a lot of Chad's images on my videos whenever I can. And shout out to Infield Media. So thumbs up, Chad. Thanks a lot, mate. Great. Just before I go, another thing I wanted to say was I'm getting tremendous feedback, positive feedback and support from the community. On Sunday, I had a bunch of people come up to me, talk about the videos. It's been overwhelming, to be honest, and even just on social media and on YouTube. So I really appreciate it. I really like the fact that people are enjoying the videos, and this is a lot of fun, right? I'm not doing anything, it's just fun. I want to get some promotion of the Australian scene for other people who have RC cars and don't necessarily race, to show how much fun it can be and how much there is depth there is to racing RC cars. I also want to share it overseas as well, what we have in Australia, and I'm going to try to get to different tracks this year, and I'll be taking footage across all those tracks. Speaking of which, in 2 weeks' time, there's the King of the Hills, which is at the Hills. It's a 2-day event, 2-wheel drive Saturday, 4-wheel drive Sunday. I've never been to a 2-day event since I've come back into the hobby, doing electric, 1/10 scale electric. So I'm going to both days. I've got heaps to learn. I learned a lot from Sunday that I'm going to change in my cars in the next 2 weeks. So I'll be vlogging all that, over the next 2 weeks. So you get to see my thoughts, what I learned, what I'm going to change, and then we can together find out how I go in the next race to see whether I've improved or my changes have made a positive difference. But I learnt a lot of huge lessons on Sunday that I'm going to share over the next couple of days, next 2 weeks, in the next race. Now, on top of that, Hills have announced they're going to host the fully sanctioned official New South Wales State Titles this year. This is super exciting because last year they were cancelled for obvious reasons, but this year people weren't sure they were going to be on. This is sanctioned. It is the state titles. It's going to be held in May, and I'll have lots of details about this. I'm planning to go as well, so I'll have the next few months of preparing for that. I'm going to put it out there on the line now. I'm going to make the A main in both classes for state titles, which is going to be a big ask for me because I'm borderline A main for club racing, but that's my goal. I've got a few months to get there, so together we can share the journey and see how we go. People have already been sending me requests they want to do, they want to see on the channel, so please keep them coming. I'm happy to accommodate. Like I said, this is a fun thing. I want to share it with everybody, and I want it to be meaningful for people who are racing RC cars in Australia or overseas. So please let me know if you'd like to see anything. I'm not an expert, like I've said, but I've got a fair amount of the knowledge, and we'll get better as we go. Right, that was all the headlines. Like I said, it's super exciting time. Like we had 80 entrants into the race on the weekend. Sorry, 80 distinct drivers with over 120 entries. There was 50 in two-wheel drive stock alone. So the Hills track, the Hills Club is so good. It's just thriving. It has to be one of the biggest 1/10 scale race meets in Australia. There's big clubs in other areas, but super. It was just huge, and the atmosphere is amazing. It's got a great community behind it. And the track and facilities are just top notch. So we're going to see that now. Let's kick over. So this is going to be a two-wheel drive mod. This is the first final from the weekend. Now, as you can see, there's only 6 drivers in mod class for 2-wheel drive. We get 50 in stock. It's just one of those things at the club that everyone's in stock at the moment. But the mod drivers are just top notch. Like, one of the reasons that you're reluctant to go to mod, I think, as a fast stock driver is they're just so good. And Ben Cribben, who I think is 3rd on the grid or 4th on the grid on this, 3rd on the grid, his was like, if not the best, definitely one of the best 2-wheel drive stock drivers. And then he went up to mod, and you'll see he is struggling to keep up with the top guys. And those 2 guys, Matty Cooper and Lachlan Donnelly, put on a masterclass in this race. It's so good to watch. So let's have a look at it, and then we'll talk about the track as we go. So I'm just going to press play here. Right, so I was on the driver's stand with them for this race. And as you can see, those who are familiar with my videos or have been to hills before, the track is reversed in this direction. You'll see some of the familiar stuff from my previous video. I showed that they're making the track, but here you can see it. So it's the track's it just flows really well. It's very curvy. It's like curve to curve. I don't feel like you're not punching a straight, hitting this. There's a lot of, areas where you can make up time. And as you can see, it's just a lot of different curves and very flowing track. And while you're driving it, you get that sense of you have to maintain your momentum through these different sections of the track. Like, it's not like you're grinding to a halt, stopping and starting. It's just maintaining your momentum, which is interesting because, as you know, I run a stand-up my 2-wheel drive, and I've got a lot of great insights into how that went on this track. So this is the race. Now, this is Lachlan's in first. He's using a B 6.2 team associated, and Matty's using an X-ray 2-wheel drive. So now, as I said, there's a top drivers in this, and look at the gap they've got already over the rest of the field. I think it's Ben Cribben in 3rd now. There's Jared Ment and Matt Seckhold. Now, these are all great drivers, but Matty and Lachlan are just putting on a masterclass. Now, they make it look easy. You'll get to see my races later on in the week. A slight bobble there by Lachlan, which leaves Matty gets right up on top of him. But they're just making it look so easy. And then this is a super close race. Now, when you look at this, how close they are, they don't hit each other at any stage of this. It's quite amazing. Everyone was watching it was just gobsmacked how good they were, the control. I mean, look at the tension. Now, Lachlan is a man of ice. So these guys are both about 17 years old. And they're obviously 2 of the best drivers in the country for the mod class. And it was a fantastic race. Now, with the layout, there's this big section here. We go around the corner, big straight, and it leads into this sweeper. And you have to sort of keep that tight so you can, that hairpin, that chicane is not, you get it as straight as possible. And then these sections, it's all about rhythm, just maintaining your momentum in the corners, flowing to the next corner, and then getting over this jump. The mod can clear that jump. In stock, you can't clear it anywhere near that easily. But this is 3 or 4 laps of intense racing, no mistakes, full tilt, 2-wheel drive mod. It was just so good to watch. And look, now Matty's right up in here. Now, there was commentary, and actually Matty's dad is the president of the club, and he was doing the commentary, and Lachlan's dad is Chad, who takes the photos. So they're both like a lot of young RC racers. Their dads are their pit guys and mentors and stuff, but they're 2 amazing drivers. And I think we get the stage here where once again Matty's so close and there's no touching. Like, the control of the brakes and the throttle control is just incredible. So if you have raced RC cars on a dirt track, you would appreciate this. Now, that's the mistake that Matty made. The one mistake he made, which basically cost him. Lachlan, from that first bobble he made that got Matty close, didn't make another mistake for the rest of the race as far as I could tell. Not only not making bobbles, pretty much drove fairly perfect. Like, it was really cool to see. And even things like hitting the bottom of those jumps. So this is something that I've learnt. Like, watch this jump here, right? So he jumps this, he lands on the down and then guns it. Now, if he went too, so does Matty. So if he went too fast, he'd get over that hump and lose the down jump, and he'd lose some time. So even though they've got so much pace in their throttle, even this little jump, so that's overshot a bit. But watch Lachlan. Well, okay, he did it a little bit there too, but Matty's hit it. So they can time their throttle control to get on the down of the jumps and then just gun them, which is just incredible to watch. So it was really good. So as for me, I'm at the stage where I'm trying to do that in the stock, but it's not always easy. Anyway, yep. So this is the track. This is the race. It's a short video today. I just wanted to show this race and also just chat about the track. My next few videos, I'm going to be talking about how I went in the weekend, what I learnt, what setup changes I want to make to my car, and as I build up to the King of the Hills race, which is in 2 weeks' time. So yeah, I think that's probably the end of the race there, or not yet. Maybe there's one lap to go. I found that, so the track is nowhere near as treacherous. It's definitely easier for people. Like, it doesn't have those really treacherous areas where the previous one had, but it's still like a track where you can get enormous differences if you're maintaining your pace, and you're able to maintain your speed around the corners. So that's the end of the race. Congratulations to Lachlan, he got that one. I think on the day he won the 2-wheel drive stock mod overall, but Peter Seckold, the Seckold brothers, I think it was Peter Seckold, so I might have said Matty before. Peter Seckold, he's another mod driver that's been doing it for a while. He's a big 1/8, he's a very good 1/8 driver. So he actually took out the 4-drive mod, and I've got some footage of one of the 4-drive mods as well, so I'll show that another time as well. But yeah, so they were the 2 winners of the mod classes. I'll talk about the stock classes when I get to my videos about my races. So safe to say I didn't win either class, but I went okay. So yeah, I'll talk about that later in the week. So thanks a lot for watching. Please smash the like button and subscribe if you like what you see in the channel. I've got a lot of videos coming out, a lot of plans, and I'm really looking forward to it. So thanks again, and congrats to Lachlan on that race, and Maddie for the way they raced. I thought I'd share it. It was good. Before we get on to my stuff, I'd show some proper footage of the track and show some masters at it. And hopefully you learned a bit from that. And yeah, looking forward to doing more. Take it easy and talk to you soon.